Ah, what a surprise. The woke Twitter mob is going after my boy Tim Allen for his opinions once again.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
You know, it's all good, though. I'm convinced Tim Allen is just uncancelable. I mean, how many actors can say their political ideologies are on the complete opposite side of the Hollywood spectrum? They talk about them openly and yet still manage to get roles at places like Disney. And I'll tell you one thing. He sure as hell doesn't care what they think and routinely will take a minute to put out a tweet that he knows will trigger the snowflake legions into a full-blown meltdown as he comfortably sits back and sips on a cool drink. I don't know for a fact he does this, but that's how I like to imagine that's what he's doing. And when he does, it is glorious to watch the salt flow. One of the first videos I ever made last month was about Tim Allen fearlessly poking the bear. So I definitely didn't hesitate at the chance to cover him doing so again. The only difference is this time he wasn't even intentionally trying to trigger anybody. At least I don't think he was. So what is it exactly that has caused this latest meltdown and feeble cancellation attempt? Well, let's check it out and find out. Trump supporter Tim Allen causes Twitter uproar over the Santa Claus's joke that saying Merry Christmas has suddenly become problematic. Santa had the red hat all along. Ah, the good old Daily Mail. Always making sure to put into their titles who someone supports politically when it's a candidate they despise. You know, I've never seen them start a title with Biden supporter. Yeah, sure, Tim's political opinions are somewhat relevant to the article, but it's only because the wokies brought it up when they were reeing at him. You know, the Daily Mail would have left it out if it was the opposite side. I mean, the New York Post has an article on the same topic, and you don't see them putting that in their title. The Daily Mail just always has to set the stage by saying, look who he supports. He's definitely the bad guy. Tim Allen, who has been open about his support for Donald Trump, right in the first frickin' sentence, has been at the center of social media uproar after joking that saying Merry Christmas has suddenly become problematic on new Disney Plus miniseries The Santa Clauses. So there it is. Yep, that's it. This whole meltdown revolves around one single line in his new show. You know, they never fail to lower the bar for what it takes to trigger them all, do they? Tim is just predisposed to being attacked over the tiniest of things simply because of his political leanings. But that's why I love the guy. He doesn't give a fuck what people think, and he shares it openly. Despite it being a scripted show, many took to Twitter to blast the 59-year-old star for his political beliefs, with one user even writing, Santa had the red hat all along and we just ignored it. In reference to the MAGA cat made famous by former U.S. Yeah, whatever, we know. Yeah, no shit, dummy. People have ignored it and should continue to ignore it, because it doesn't matter what his political leanings are as long as they aren't being heavily injected into the film as a means to try to convince the audience to join their team. And seriously, if recognizing the absurdity that it has become problematic to wish people Merry Christmas, especially in a movie about freaking Santa Claus, and that's considered a right-wing talking point, then I really don't know what the hell to do for you. Allen returned to his role as Scott Calvin, who took over as Santa Claus in 1994 flick The Santa Claus, after accidentally killing the red-suited gift giver for the new Disney Plus miniseries, which began streaming its first 2 episodes on Thursday. One particular scene has rubbed many the wrong way as Calvin is asked if something is bothering him, as he replies that he's fine, except that saying Merry Christmas to all has suddenly become problematic. Filmmaker and podcaster Scott Weinberg, who produced 2020 sci-fi flick Skylines, started the conversation on the microblogging site posting, saying Merry Christmas to all has suddenly become problematic. Actual dialogue from the new Disney Plus Santa Claus series starring Tim Allen. One user shed light on how Allen's character took the role of Santa Claus in the first place as they replied, Merry Christmas to all has suddenly become problematic. Jesus Christ, how many times am I going to have to repeat that line? So anyway, here are some of the wokies' tweets. So as stated above, this one right here, Scott Weinberg, he was the one who triggered this whole meltdown. And we already read his tweet up there. Merry Christmas to all has suddenly become problematic. Character who literally killed Santa Claus and assumed the mantle of his power. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to read that line 100 times. And correction, it was only manslaughter as he did it by accident. And I mean, come on, the old Santa Claus was cool with it. They showed him waving goodbye at Scott after he reads the card telling him to put on the suit. You know, I'll just tell them that the old Santa Claus was a capitalist. That will definitely get them to change their tune. I can guarantee they wouldn't care anymore after hearing that. To be fair, we say happy holidays because we don't want to offend people who celebrate Kwanzaa and Hanukkah. Oh, there's that guy. Actually, we say happy holidays so we don't offend anyone. We don't say it to not offend. We say it to include. We say it because we acknowledge that there might be things out there we don't personally observe. Has nothing to do with offense. Wrong. Saying happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas to all does the complete opposite because you are then leaving out the people who do celebrate Christmas. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wishing it to all people because even if they don't celebrate it, you are including them in your celebrations. You know, I don't need to read the rest of these damn tweets. It's redundant because it has just evolved into an argument about whether it's right to say happy holidays or Merry Christmas. You know, I don't give a shit. I say what I say. But there is one more over on the Post article that I want to read. Disney is more than willing to pander to conservatives if it'll make them a quick buck, speculated one tweeter, while another user attempted to reason that the line was, in fact, a reference to who Calvin was before even donning the red suit for the first time. Now, this one is especially absurd. The notion that someone truly believes that Disney would ever even consider pandering to conservatives is absolutely laughable. You know, they despise conservatives, and they make that very clear regularly. Disney is one of the most openly woke companies you can find anywhere, and they're always shoving their ideologies into their movies and TV shows. I mean, give me a break. And I'll say it again. If you think that a kid show that is trying to bring children a little Christmas joy, and that should be considered conservative pandering, you really are beyond all hope. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. Once again, the Wokies pathetically attempt and fail to cancel Tim Allen by feebly trying to portray Santa Claus as a MAGA hat-wearing conservative. All because his character says one little line about wishing people Merry Christmas. Santa Claus is a literal Nazi. He wished me Merry Christmas. Such absolute clowns. Tim Allen isn't bothered by it at all. As far as I'm aware, he didn't even acknowledge all of this nonsense. You know, he never hides his leanings, and he regularly pushes back against the woke mob. And yet he still gets job offers. Disney even tried to get rid of him when they canceled his ABC show Last Man Standing out of nowhere, even when it was the second most popular sitcom on TV at the time. But then Fox immediately bought the rights to the show and they kept it going. And still, after all that, Disney came crawling back to him. I'm telling you, he is uncancelable. So, that's about it. Let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. Please like and share the video and consider subscribing if you enjoy my content. I'll catch you all later.